We talk a lot about how toxic bosses make us feel, but today we're going to talk about what it actually costs you. And I'm not only talking about emotionally, because we know emotionally is part of it, because the cost is real and it's tangible, and I think it's time that we name it. Hello, I'm Dr. Ashley Chance Fox. I'm a women's confidence coach and creator of Overcoming the Beasty Boss. Let's dive into it. So as I was going through this and thinking about all the costs that lie on us when we have a beastie boss, I sort of came up with these little categories. So here they are, and we're going to touch each one of them briefly. The cost of our career, financially, physically, emotionally, psychologically, and our identity. All right, so career, financial, physical, emotional, psychological, and identity. Now let's talk about this. Now, let's start with career, right? So how does it cost our career? When we have a beastie boss, we know that sometimes because of the beastie boss, we might miss opportunities. So projects, promotions, visibility, being seen and heard. You're maybe passed over for a promotion because you were intentionally excluded from opportunities because of the beastie boss. Your reputation may be quietly undermined because of this beastie boss. And it may be so extreme that you have references that you can no longer use. Like it's like your chapter of your resume. You sort of have to explain it now if you start looking for another job, right? And you start thinking about, is my career, the trajectory of my career, has it really gotten derailed by this beastie boss? And if it has, then it's the financial cost, right? So career cost was first and financial. And these are not necessarily in any order of importance, but they all do cost us, right? So years of being neglected or overlooked may end up being a lower salary because you didn't get that promotion, right? You didn't get that raise, and opportunities for advancement went to maybe less qualified people than you are because of the beastie boss. And you also have to think about the cost of leaving that job, right? You know this job, and at one time you might have loved this job. Maybe you still ultimately do love the job, you just don't like the boss. So the cost of time, really searching for the job, looking for what that pay looks like, moving, starting over, all of that is a financial cost to this beastie boss. Another one which really hits home is the physical cost, because I truly believe as a coach, my philosophy is when we get these emotions, if we don't really address them, it's going to cost us physically. And that could be anything from restless nights, no sleep, to tension headaches, clenching our jaw, which ultimately is TMJ, right? Anxiety, depression, stress-related illnesses. Our bodies do keep that score from trauma, and workplace trauma is a real thing. And you may end up seeking therapy and medications just to get through another day at the job, right? And so all of that takes an emotional and psychological toll or cost on you, right? You may feel like that confidence is being chipped away, or that self-trust may be chipped away. Your internal narrative may have shifted from, I'm good at this, to maybe I'm not so good at this, because they have been in your ear or not, giving you signals that you're not good enough, right? You're tired because you're second guessing things that you're doing, which used to come first nature to you. And the exhaustion of performing every single day and feeling like it's just this load on your shoulders, right? Relationships are affected. You might bring it home. It might dip into friendships or family. And your joy in your work is just vanished when you used to wake up motivated and ready to go. Now, all this sort of accumulates, especially for high achieving women, because it hits hard when work is part of our identity, right? Because that is a source of pain now instead of this pride that we put all of our time and energy into, right? So we don't just lose a job, we sort of lose a version of ourself. And if you were in a space where you have left a job and a beastie boss and gone into a different place of work, you may have sensed some grief in that, because you may have loved that job and it may have been an ideal job at one time for you. And it's okay to grieve that, right? You are a woman who is proud of your work and you want to walk confidently and feel very capable in a job, and mourning some of that is real and it's valid. So I don't want anyone to feel like that minimizing it is the way to go. And I have heard my clients say, oh, it's not that bad. Other people have it harder, or I'll be fine, right? That keeps us stuck. And it's a lie that we tell ourselves to cope, right? This has damaged your psyche, yourself, and it just wasn't a hard time at work, right? This is real. It was bad. It was that hard, and you're not fine. And you deserve to acknowledge that. So I invite you, if this is you, if this resonated with you, I invite you to start naming that cost. What is the cost to you about staying in this job, in this pain, in this space? You have to want to heal it, first of all. And then you need to name it. That's the first step, is to name it. You cannot recover from something that you haven't fully named. And it's not about blame. We can't change the past, right? It's sort of like a checklist, or taking the pros and cons kind of thing, right? It's an honest accounting of how you're feeling in the space that you're in right now. And I want you to write it all down, all of it. All of it. Even if it's very scary for you to write it down, because, oh my gosh, what if somebody else sees it? That's okay. You can always burn it or throw it away later, right? But write it all down. What's the cost of your career? Financially, physically, emotionally, identity? What is that? Give yourself permission to write it all down. Give yourself permission to grieve it if you need to. And find support that addresses all of those layers, not just the surface stuff, but all those layers. Start rebuilding intentionally, one area at a time. And the great thing is that you have control over which area you pick, right? Please know that recovery and overcoming this is possible. I have seen it in my clients. I know that it's possible. It does take some work, and I know you're already exhausted. I know you are. I know you're already exhausted. You're thinking, oh gosh, just one more thing. Please know that it's worth it in the end. Doing this kind of work is worth it in the end for you and your livelihood and your happiness, because you deserve to be happy, right? If you haven't already, check out my Confidence Boost workbook. It's a few pages with some journal prompts, some meditations, and other things in there that will help you start this journey. Again, go back, write down your cost what this Beastie Boss in this workplace is doing for you right now. And if you'd like to dig a little bit deeper, I have a Thursday night group, the Embracing Me Circle. We meet on Zoom at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we work through these things one step at a time to get our confidence back, to work through this grief, to work through that anger, and to put ourselves back on that path that we know that we can be, right? You didn't just have a hard time at work. You paid the real price, and you deserve a real recovery and comeback. And you got this. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment, and I will see you next week.